Matthew and Nicholas Massie, better known as Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, are the Young Bucks, currently signed to All Elite Wrestling, where they were also executive vice presidents and co-founders of the company. Building a reputation as one of the best up-and-coming tag teams, Matt and Nick quickly adopted the tag team name of the Young Bucks and built that name up for 5 years in the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Federation based in California. They would work with future wrestling stars like Tyler Black, now known as Seth Rollins, Kenny Omega, Chuck Taylor, Bryan Danielson, Roderick Strong, El Generico, now known as Sammy Zane, Kevin Steen, now known as Kevin Owens, and the Briscoe brothers. So it was rather odd when they were rebranded when they made their debut, January 14th, 2010, on an episode of TNA Impact.
It was big for us.
Oh yeah, for sure, because that was our goal. It was our goal to get to that point. And like I said, we were thinking about it for months and months in advance, and we finally did do it. And then, you know what, the first year we were there, we loved it. Yep. We had a blast. Like, we had so many fun house show matches with the machine guns.
We had a blast, but at the same time, even when we saw the deal, we're like, this deal sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we knew it wasn't good.
You know what? You know what sucks though is I thought, okay, I'm signing my first contract.
Yeah.
I'm finally gonna
suck
be
it up
able
and
to,
sign it.
I'm finally gonna be satisfied. No, I'm talking. This is it. We made it.
Oh yeah. We thought we made it.
I finally made it. I'm satisfied with my life now. This is great. This is our goal.
And we were never gonna go like, well, should we negotiate this? We're like, we have to sign this.
Right.
But you know what? Thinking back, we should have.
Of course. But at the time, you're just happy to be there.
But now we know, as businessmen, you gotta.
Yeah, like they wanted us so bad that they offered us deals on the spot.
Yeah,
we should have known. We kind of have these guys. We should ask for more money.
You have to.
But we didn't know that.
And we were done.
Did they make any promises to you guys at all?
No, for sure. When we first signed our contract, they were like, it doesn't look great, but
yeah, they were like,
Hulk Hogan's coming in, things are gonna get good.
They're like, things are changing. We might move to money. Like, they were telling us all this stuff.
They said, look at the contract you guys have now. This might be ripped up in 6 months, and you guys might have a guaranteed contract.
So immediately we're like, cool. That's
we're like,
awesome.
Of course we got to sign.
And then the market us is going, Hulk's coming in. Scott and Kevin are coming.
Hulk, like we said earlier in the interview, that he's our hero.
And we were like, this could be the next boom thing.
Yeah, right.
Boom period.
We thought we were going to be in the next boom period.
And it felt big time when we first got there, because our debut was literally the night after. We were supposed to be on that first show, I believe, where
Monday,
where the NWO's in the ring and Jeff's there, and Brett's on the other show.
We were at the hotel room during that, and we were watching it on the TV, and we're like, this is nuts.
We're a part of something big.
This is going to be big.
Originally, we were supposed to be on that show, though, against the Motor City Machine Guns. They pushed it to the next day, where we made our debut, and it was a tape
I remember
show.
We were mad about that. Man, that would have been so perfect, but it worked out. And to this day, I watch that match and think, that's one of the craziest debuts a tag team could ever have.
Yeah, for sure.
Is wrestling those guys.
What an impact.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any say in your name with Generation Me at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
I literally,
dude,
I got in. This is, so we got offered the deals. We go home. They scan us the paperwork. We sign it.
We knew they wanted to cut our hair, and we knew they wanted our look changed. That's all we knew.
The reason we knew that is because I got this email from Vince Russo it was like, I want to say it was maybe right before the new year. Like the 30th or something.
Yep.
And it was a forwarded email, actually, because it was Terry Taylor sending me an email that Vince Russo sent him.
Yep.
Right.
So it said, tell those kids their new name is Jin Me. And
they need a haircut.
No, they didn't even say that. He said they said that to us the day we got there. He said, tell them that I want them to look like kind of like the Hardy Boys, but kind of not like them. Something like really weird and like, what does that even mean?
That's
like,
exactly what it was said.
Kind of like the Hardy Boys, but not exactly like them. And then we were like, what does that mean?
I remember you forwarding me the email, and I sat there on my couch depressed. Like,
yeah, we were like sad.
Man.
And then, so I said,
there goes all our steam that I thought.
So I said
we
to
were
Terry,
have.
what does this mean? You guys gonna have? I didn't understand. You guys gonna have gear for us?
Yeah.
We have to go get gear. Like, so Shelly kind of helped me out. He's like, go to the mall, buy some stuff.
You guys got to get some stuff, and we had
a few days.
We couldn't have a seamstress.
This was all happening so fast because we were thinking. This is a process, right? A few months? No, like in a few days, you're going to be on TV probably. Like, we didn't know.
We were.
So we bought we went to the mall and we bought with the Hot Topic and bought skateboard pants and like all this. And then we brought Young Buck stuff too, hoping they would please God pick the Young Buck stuff.
Right.
So we get there the day of, and Vince is like, "Y'all need haircuts. Go take these guys to get haircuts. And we're like, oh, crap.
I remember thinking, oh, gosh,
So-
that's one thing I didn't want to do.
So D'Lo Brown's kind of the agent pulling us to Vince, and Vince is like,
Is this short enough?
Is this short enough? And Vince is all shorter. We're like, come on, man.
And it was finally it got to the point where it's like,
and of course we're selling the seamstress, or the hair girl. No, like
I was
right here.
Matt, look at my hair; it's down to my cheek. Look at how stupid I look. I'm gonna look like a 12-year-old on TV.
And then of course Vince picked the skateboard pants with the purple bandana attached with the skate shoes. We're like, man, we could use the Young Bucks stuff. But
looking back though, I wish I would have just sat down with Russo and said, you know what, can you explain the gimmick to me? I have no clue what we're doing.
Or why is my hair? Why do I need a bowl cut?
We were scared. This was our first contract.
We were just like,
we were scared to death. We didn't know what we were doing.
Why-
Nowadays it'd be totally different.
and our hair was dry, and we looked like 12-year-old kids. It's like, what were we doing?
no.
Not that we look any older now, but
Do you remember meeting Dixie for the first time, and what were your initial impressions of her?
she just seemed like a nice lady. I think, man, I want to say it was the first day. She was just like, welcome to TNA.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it was
When
the
we met.
first day.
I don't remember.
She welcomed us, and she seemed nice. And I was
Really?
like, that's cool. She wasn't intimidating. She was very
down to
personable, down to earth. Even to the day we left, she was
always nice.
to our faces, at least.
Yeah,
like
she was always
she was
nice.
always cool to us.
I remember the day we left, she even said, I don't see this being the last
Yeah,
time
you guys will be back
we
here.
work
Right.
together. We're going to work more in the future.
Yeah.
What about Eric Bischoff? Memories of
I didn't like him at first.
Why is
Like,
that?
he just seemed like
Standoffish.
Yeah. Like, I felt like he thought he was better than everyone. Like, he'd walk around with his chin up, and I was intimidated by him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this guy has this crazy reputation. He's this is the
let's-
guy that almost put Vince out of business. Like,
Yeah.
I just felt really intimidated about
And
him.
let's be honest, he looked at us like we're the X Division.
Yeah, he kinda
Which
did.
was always looked down upon
Right.
from almost everyone.
And that's how I felt. Like, I don't even know if that's how he felt, but that's the way he made me feel being around him. And every time he would age in a thing, you would feel like he was kind of talking down to us. Like, I don't know. I remember even at one point we worked with him a little bit, and I think at that point I liked him a little more because
I think we earned his respect.
I think he
a little
started
more.
understanding us a little more. Like, we had this thing. It was on that one show, Reaction, I think it was called.
Yeah,
And he sat
that's
down
right.
and interviewed us, and he got to know us a little bit.
It went good. Yeah.
And it went good. And I remember for a while, like, things were okay, and like we were getting better positions on the show.
Yeah, and after that, I remember he said, "Would you guys be willing to do a street fight in front of an empty audience?" And me and Matt loved the idea. Oh, that's great.
Well, that's different.
That's great.
It's grungy and
And
dirty
it
and
would be
weird.
with the machine guns, which was obviously an added bonus. So the four of us were like, yeah, let's do it. And you know what? Let's tear the house down. Even though there's no fans.
And we did that match, and it's still one of my favorite moments
I think
in TNA.
so. I think it's our best thing that we've done on national TV.
But I think we earned his respect that night.
Yeah.
And then he started treating us different. And then I liked him. And then for whatever reason, we did that short run. It was like the X Division versus
him and
a few other guys. And it seemed so real because it kind of was. Like, I remember at one point we were doing this backstage like promo or pre-tape. And he he did it without even planning or asking if it was okay. He threw coffee at Brian Kendrick and made Brian hot. Brian's a hothead as it is. He just threw it at him, and he's kind of like saying really real things to us about how he feels about vanilla midgets.
The promo got real, I remember, and Kendrick
It got really real, and
mad.
Kendrick was hot.
I remember him saying, "How can he do that without telling me?"
Yeah,
how disrespectful is that?
So then it fired us up. So I remember one time on live,
was the
on
same
live
night.
TV. Was that the same night?
We talked Red
into flipping him off. We're like, in a real life situation, if some guy's talking down to you, would you just sit there and take it?
Like, because
we knew what the lines were going to be.
I think Bischoff was doing this to him, to his face.
Yeah.
So we told Red, "Hey, you
Flip
should
him off,
flip
man."
him off."
And he did.
And that day though, they're like, "We need more guys that are not scared to do
Yeah,
things."
like Bischoff loved it. He's all, that was real.
Yeah.
It was great. So like we were having fun doing this stuff because it was kind of real.
Then in one night they buried the whole X Division.
I got jobbed out by I think
one
Bischoff
night,
pinned me.
Red
got beat.
Red got squashed. We got squashed.
Someone
else
else
got squashed.
I think
Spanky lost the belt to Abyss, I think.
I think that's right.
And one night
So our momentum was
they killed all momentum of the X Division.
And that whole thing actually came from a really like a real thing that happened. One day it was the what was the cage show called where everything's in a cage?
Lockdown, that's right.
Lockdown. all the X Division guys were kind of getting fed up.
Oh, we were all in the same match, actually.
Yeah, none of us were getting booked on house shows. We were unhappy about the direction. So Spanky, of course, we talked about this earlier. He's like the leader, the ring leader.
Yeah.
He gathered up all the X guys, me and Nick and Chris Sabin and Jay Lethal,
Red.
And he's like, you know what, guys, this needs to be changed. We need to get on more shows. We need a guarantee.
It should change now because today's a live pay-per-view.
We can sit out this first match, just sit on the ramp and say, we're not going out there until someone talks to us.
Right.
So we all blindside Vince Russo in the back.
We talked Spanky out of doing that because we can't do that.
We're like, we can't do that. Let's go talk.
Right.
So we kind of blindsided Russo. We're like, we talked with you, and there's like 6, X Division guys going, Russo, we need answers.
And this is like an hour before the live pay-per-view.
And we sat down and we were just like, what's going on here? And
why do we not get booked?
And he told us his reasons. There's so many guys in the car, whatever he said. But I remember that a few weeks later, they wrote that basically into the show.
Yeah.
And that's what started the whole X Division,
But little did we know, we got a ton of heat for doing that.
Jay Lethal got fired like 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we just all stopped getting booked pretty slowly.
Yeah.
The Bucks were part of the X Division, a stable that was mostly filled with high flyers and risk takers. One of the wrestlers in that division was Desmond Wolfe. The Bucks had worked with him in Ring of Honor previously underneath the name Nigel McGuinness. To the Bucks' surprise, they were booked to win their first match in TNA against the Motor City Machine Guns. The TNA live crowds loved the Young Bucks and would chant Young Bucks, ignoring the new rebranding. This went on so much that TNA eventually decided to give Matthew and Nicholas, known as Jeremy and Max, the last name of Buck. It was here in TNA that the Bucks first met Kazuchika Okada, who had come to America to learn American-style wrestling. The Bucks took a liking to Okada and would let him use their dressing room. Okada would open up to the Bucks in time, and they would end up spending a lot of time together backstage. The Bucks and Okada would find that they had the same silly sense of humor and would endlessly prank each other. When they weren't playing pranks, they would build intricate mini golf courses backstage using whatever was lying around for obstacles. It was here in TNA when the Bucks would have a series of great matches with the Motor City Machine Guns toward the end of 2010 that saw the Bucks turn heel, grow their hair back out, and even return to wearing the ring gear that they were wearing before coming to TNA. While the Bucks had a pretty solid initial run as a tag team in TNA, that all went sideways when it was decided they would break up and feud with each other. They really hated this and eventually ended up asking to be released, in part due to having a really good experience doing a dark match for a newly revitalized Ring of Honor with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Their contract paid them per appearance in TNA, and they struggled to make money when TNA lost an interest in them.
The contract was so bad, I'll tell you guys this, that sometimes we would fly to Orlando, we would have to rent a car, and we would have to get a hotel room and eat. By the time we would come back from some of those trips, we lost money wrestling for TNA.
Yeah. Getting national television exposure.
Yes. Our deal was $300 per match.
Well, and I had a side job at the time. I was working in a machine shop, and that job sucked. Like, it was like 105 degrees in my little area because I worked in. It was basically a rubber molding department. So I used these big gloves that came up here and these hot ovens, and I would burn my arms every day. I still have scars on my arms from this job. That job sucked. So I'd be on Spike TV on. I think it was at the time. It changed somebody. I think it was Thursday originally, and then like by I would fly home. We would tape it though. It'd be taped on Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Right? It was never live back then. So people would watch me on TV on Thursday, but then that actual Thursday in real life, I was pouring hot liquid rubber into this metal mold. And I'm just sitting here going, I thought I made it. What happened? And I was so wrong. We hadn't even come close to making it.
Okada really didn't do well in TNA either. He was only used a handful of times and usually only in dark matches. But this wouldn't be the last time that the Bucks and Okada would work together.
These guys, Generation Me, these two guys, I don't even know what their names are. Okay, I don't think anybody knows what their names are. At 21 years old or however they were, They knew more about wrestling and the wrestling business than Vince Russo would have ever known. And when you try to explain to them for their own good, you guys ain't gonna make money this way. You're not gonna be around in 5 years if you continue to do this in one ear and out the other.
On January 1st of 2019, All Elite Wrestling was unveiled during a conference in Jacksonville, Florida, with Matt and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks revealing that they, along with Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega, would serve as executive vice presidents, as well as on-air talent. Both the Young Bucks and Cody signed 5-year contracts with the promotion.
Is there a beef between you guys and Jim Cornette?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
He hates our style. He left us home when we were under a contract for Ring of Honor, and we left TNA for them, so there's heat there because we were starving when he begged us to quit TNA to come work for him in Ring of Honor. Yeah. So there's legit heat
We
there.
don't feel like he did his best to help us out in our situation, and this is personal because we're talking money, taking money out of our children, food out of our children's
Where we had a
houses.
guaranteed thing at TNA, and we risked it by leaving there, going to something that we thought would be even better.
We put our trust into him, and maybe it was our fault for trusting him, but we don't feel like he did everything he could to help us.
He put the blame on other guys in the office, so we don't know who it really
We don't know who's ultimately to blame, but I feel like...
But he was running the promotion at the time, so it's got to be...
And then after all of this, after him doing these very personal things to us, he fires shots at us on his podcast and smart aleck tweets about us. It's like, we felt like we could have so many times put public with what he did to us, and we didn't. We were nice about it. So after he screws us over and basically lets our contract run out, now he...
They never even called us.
Never even calls and thanked us.
Yeah.
Then he goes
They just let our contract end, and we literally didn't even get a, hey, thanks, guys, but we're letting you guys go. Nothing.
Yeah, at one point on our last show, they brought us in. It was a pity booking. He said, can you beg for your jobs back at TNA and go get your jobs back? We can't afford you guys. We can't work with... And like at that point, Nick and I just said... Is this really happening to us?
Yeah.
So then for all that to go down and then for him to take shots at us at our work and stuff, how can you even do that? Like, you're lucky we haven't said at that point, you're lucky we didn't even come out and say anything about how you treated us. If anything, we should be the ones pissed off.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's what really pisses off was he did this very personal thing to us. And then he's the one burying us on the internet and on his podcast and stuff. And I think, you know what? I think we fell right into the trap and the bait because he loves talking about this stuff because he's got nothing going on. He's got nothing. The guy had to start a Kickstarter to get booked in Europe. And he sees that we're doing big things and we're successful. And it's like, I understand that. Like, you want to take you want to get people to talk. You know what I mean? And that's what you did. Yeah. That's fine. But like at this point, you asked, do you have a beef with him? I do, but like if I saw the guy, I'm not gonna go jump him and start a fight with this old man. I would be cordial and I say hello to him. Would I want to work for him again? Absolutely not.
He's exposing the business just like all those old timers that have podcasts.
Oh yeah, I love that. It's like, man, these guys are exposing the business. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a podcast that exposes the business. I don't get that, by the way. I don't get it.
They're just all trying to stay in the limelight, those dumbasses.
Yeah.
F off, old timers.
Yo, shock jocks, you need a payday. Oh, let me bait in who I can bait on Twitter and see if they'll respond so I can get more content. You're not going to get a response from us. This doesn't even count. This doesn't even count.
He is I and I am him, and I'm the undisputed trend, Matt Taven. And this dork behind the camera, some Melvin told me to say, grave diggers keep on digging. Whatever that means.
I am AEW wrestler and Ring of Honor tag champ, Mike Bennett. And remember, grave diggers keep digging, but not the monster truck. Even though my son really likes that monster truck, I kind of like Son of a Digger, and so I'm going off on a tangent about monster truck because my son really loves monster truck, but we're talking about the YouTube channel, so make sure, grave diggers, keep on digging, baby.
So this is Mark doing one happy private party, saying what up to the grave diggers, and you're doing your thing, bro.
Alright, like, subscribe, and watch another video, or be cursed. If you're cursed, that means the grave diggers will keep digging your graves. So, you probably want to do it.